Hi, welcome to Crossfader. I'm DJ Holland and today we're going to be looking at DJ from Algoriddim. DJ comes on a variety of platforms including Windows, Android, iOS and Mac. But for today's review we're going to be mainly looking at the iOS version on this, the iPad Pro. Let's begin. Algoriddim DJAY Pro is a free download from the App Store. Included in the free version is Classic Mode and Automix. The rest that you can see here are all included in the Pro subscription, but more about that later. In the Classic Mode you get two virtual turntables. You can load music into them from your local iTunes library, custom playlists you've created yourself, or from Spotify if you're a Spotify premium user. Within the Spotify you have access to the full collection and you can search the entire library here as well. Within the classic view on your turntables we have a full crossfader, cue section, tempo adjust, beat grid adjust, and we have access to extended waveforms, simple loops and our mixer. Also included in the free version is cue point section, a full EQ, an auto loop section with roll and a high pass low pass pad, XY pad, and we have effects as well. Included in the free version of Algoriddim DJAY we have 5 essential effects: echo, flanger, phaser, bit crusher and gate. These actually sound very good and can be triggered manually with wet dry effect. They can be triggered via the XY pad, very similar to the Korg Chaos pads if you remember those. And we also have access to 6 instant pad effects. These are very similar to the Record Box pad effects if you've ever played with those. The great thing about these effects are they all work post fader. Also included in the free version is Automix. Now Automix is a feature that many DJs might not like to see included, but it can be a real lifesaver if you're a wedding DJ maybe, or you're needing a break. You know, maybe you need to go to the toilet or something, or you need to step away from the decks for a short period of time. The Automix function will mix any playlist you give it, whether that be a custom created playlist from within your library, an iTunes playlist, or including the Spotify playlists. In the free version you just have a simple version of Automix. This basically just fades one track out and blends the other in. But in the paid subscription we actually get options to change how that transition takes place. We've got fades, we've got filters, echoes, etc. We can also adjust how long each transition takes, and we can adjust how the tempo just happens. You know, we can sync the tracks, but if that sounds a bit weird, maybe your playlist includes different varieties of genres of music, maybe going from R&B to house, etc. We can actually select morph, which will, you know, manually bring the BPMs into line. It's a very powerful tool. Like I said, not many DJs will be happy to see it in there, but it's very capable, and it's actually surprising what it can achieve. So there are the 2 versions that you receive for free with the initial download of DJAY Pro. Now Algoriddim has gone down the route of subscription-based professional features. We've seen this recently with the likes of Serato and whatnot, offering subscription-based services rather than an outright payment. These start at a monthly fee of $4.99 and you can also buy yearly little bit of a saving here at $39.99. What you get for that money is access to the additional features, the 2-deck mode, the looper, the 4 decks, single deck preparation mode, and video. Let's take a quick look at those now. The 2-deck mode within the professional side of Algoriddim DJ is a lot like the classic mode that we've just taken a look at. However, gone are the virtual turntables. The gimmicky kind of look that you've received there is gone, and it's replaced with this clean professional interface. Very reminiscent of your Serato DJs and your record box DJs. From within this view you can change a lot of things, but the emphasis is put back onto your library. Now if you're using Algoriddim DJ with hardware, this is the view we recommend you to use. You know, if you're plugging a controller into this, this is the view you want to be using, as you don't need to see all your EQs. You'll have dedicated buttons for that. Included inside the professional version, you also have access to more effects than you did in the free version. Now these effects are supplied by Sugar Bytes, and you have different packs within here. There's actually over 30 new effects, and they work the exact same as before, and they sound really good. Moving on from the 2-deck view, we have the 4-deck view. This enables you obviously to mix up to 4 decks from various sources, so we can load songs in from iTunes or Spotify if we like, and mix them flawlessly with the Crossfader down at the bottom. We recommend these views really when you're using external hardware. It can get a bit cluttered, but that's not to say that you can't access all the performance features. We have full effects, EQs and loop features down here, and we've also got a full mixer view with the Crossfader down the bottom, which can be assigned left, right and through. The single deck view is really for preparing your songs. Now features like the Automix only really work if the beat grids are set perfectly. Algoriddim DJ automatically analyzes your files and does a very good job of doing so. But in this single deck mode, we can set our hot cues, set cue points, adjust the beat grid, the tempo and whatnot, just in case something wasn't right. It's a great little feature to have and can save you a lot of time if you go into the single deck mode rather than trying to do it on the fly in, say, classical view. The brand new looper section of Algoriddim DJ is a music performance mode that lets you play up to 8 quantized audio and video loops. Now these are from a possible preloaded 48 sample packs that you get loaded in straight away. You can add to them packs, you can download an additional 1,240 I think it was at last time of checking, and these come from Loopmasters. Also included we have a sample pad. This is great, you can download these in packs again. You can download more packs from the store here. These are all free of charge within the Pro subscription. Unlike the Mac version and the Windows version where you have to actually purchase these are all free of charge and can be downloaded just by tapping on any of the given packs. All these are supplied by Future Loops. As it stands, there's no way to customize the view or customize which samples are loaded on which pad. Say, for example, I want the drum kick from the Essentials pad, but the snare from the hip hop, there's no way of doing that. It's instantly replaced with whichever pack you select. We'd love to see that changed in a future update, and maybe even the ability to load in your own samples, maybe a DJ voice tag, something like that. That'd be a great addition. A great thing about the looper is that it's fully synced into the tracks that you're playing, and you've got control at the top to be controlling your DJ sets. You don't have to pull away from your DJ set and just use the sampler on its own. We can have a track playing up here, for example. We can sync that, and then we can bring in elements from down here and mix them in as we see fit. We can individually control the levels of each channel. And just bring them in as we see fit. Again, another thing that we'd love to have seen on here is the ability to chop and change between the packs, but it is what it is. A point worthy of note with the sampler, or the looper as they call it, is that within Algoriddim DJ, we actually have the ability to enable Ableton Link. This technology can sync a variety of devices over the network. So if you're all on the same Wi-Fi network, we can sync maybe a Serato DJ set, an Ableton Live Performer, even a Roland drum machine. And it also links and works perfectly straight out of the box with Algoriddim DJ. We had a quick play of this in the office, and we had a drum machine going, a Serato DJ running, Serato DJ Pro, and I was working on the looper section in Algoriddim. It synced perfectly, everyone was on grid, it sounded fantastic, it was great fun. Not much use for it on your own when you're DJing, but as a professional feature, we love this. Now moving on from the looper section, we can actually activate the looper from within the video DJing section, which is a brand new feature to Algoriddim DJ Pro 2. Now the iPad Pro that we're on here is a very powerful machine indeed. Video DJing used to be exclusively reserved for people carrying high-end laptops. You got to reliably DJ on the device and push all that graphical content out to multiple monitors. Used to be a big strain on the system, but these iPads are more than capable of doing this. What more, with the looper, we can actually assign visualizers which will react to the music. These are great. So if we start off with some loops, as you can see on the master screen at the top, they're reacting to the sounds that are coming from the looper section. And we can just add them in. If we turn this off, move that across, you'll be able to see this a bit better. And maybe drop a vocal in with this particle effect. Really powerful stuff and looks fantastic. Now also, if we don't want to be video DJing just from the sampler, we can video DJ from our own music library. Now we do have the ability to play music videos that we've downloaded from iTunes or manually put in from iTunes into the iPad. We can play them. If you don't have any music videos loaded in, we can also load our own tracks in, music tracks, and we can apply the same visualizer effects which will react to the music much in the same way it did with the looper. Now to move between the two decks, we can load up different visual effects on each track and move across. As we move across with the Crossfader, and this will work if you've got DJ hardware plugged in, as you're mixing and blending between the two tracks, as you'll see on the screen above, it just smoothly moves over. You can change this transition up at the top if you want a different effect. We can have Luma or Mosaic or whatever you prefer. On top of this, we can overlay maybe our own logos. If you've got a DJ logo you'd like to show, we can choose a size. We can even make it opaque if we like. And if a logo doesn't cut it, you can even write your own text messages in, pick a few. We've got our website address there, and we can just select which deck we want that on. So if we want it on the left deck, the right deck, or the master screen, we can have it there. So if we assign that to the left deck and the logo to the right, as we move across again, let's just get that track going. It's as simple as that. Really powerful stuff. Another nice feature that we've got in here is if you want to display maybe offers or graphics that have been supplied by maybe the venue you're working at, instead of having this visualizer that we've got on our audio tracks, we can also click live photos. We haven't got any in here unfortunately at the moment, but you can load your own pictures into there. Maybe you've got screen graphics you want to display, things like that. You can just load them in there, select them, assign them to a track, and off you go. Now to get the video feed from the iPad out to your screens, you will need an adapter. The new iPad Pros have a USB Type-C connector, which is fantastic, but with all things Apple, of course, you're going to need a dongle. The video adapter which comes with a USB port, so plugging in maybe a controller, and a HDMI port, and the charging cable is about $69. It's not cheap, but if you want that functionality, it's there, and that's what you'll need to get the most out of it. Now, to perform live with Algoriddim DJ, you're obviously going to need to plug it into a sound system. There's two ways of doing this. The cheapest way is one of these adapters. This is a DJ mono split cable. This one's from Native Instruments, but Griffin also do one of these. Don't mistake this with your usual traditional headphone splitter like you'd use to share your headphones with a friend, as that won't work. This has a headphone out and a master out. Remember, if you want to use one of these mono split cables, you will need a headphone adapter for the iPad Pro. This is a USB Type-C to 3.5mm jack. These are about $10. If you're running an older iPad, you will need the lightning connector. Same goes for the iPhones if you're using this on a phone. Your other option is to DJ it with an external piece of hardware. Now, the free version, before you pay for the subscription, you're limited on which controllers you can use. You've got the Mix Tour, the BeatPad 2, Pioneer DJ, WeGo, Numark iDJ Live, and the Numark Mixed Quad. They're your most basic controllers that you can use with the free version. Now, if you pay the subscription fee, you can use over 50 controllers which are natively mapped. If your controller's not natively mapped, there is a setting within the Algoriddim software to be able to map almost anything MIDI to this device, and that includes Bluetooth MIDI devices as well. Really powerful piece of equipment. To DJ with a controller, you're going to need to connect it to the iPad. Here we've got a USB Type-C to Type-B cable. This is the most commonly used cable. You can also get a lightning version of this cable. Now, if you do use this cable, it's the cheapest way of doing it. These cables you can pick up for about $5, but if you do use this, you can't charge the iPad. If you want to charge the iPad and plug into a controller for the longer sets and whatnot, you're going to need an adapter, and that adapter's about $40 from Apple. It's actually called a camera adapter if you're on Lightning, and it's just a USB Type-C hub if you're on the iPad Pro. Just a quick look at the Mac version of DJ Pro 2. This has basically every one of the brilliant features from the iOS version and just adds a little bit more. For example, now in the sampler section, we can pick and choose between which sample pack we want to draw each sample from, and we actually have the ability to record our own samples in now, whether that be from an MP3 file or WAV file that's inside a currently loaded deck, or we can even record our own sample in from the microphone built into the laptop, or if you've got a USB microphone plugged in, you can drag that in as well. The video DJing has also been improved slightly. We now can play files up to 4K in resolution, and we can output at 60 frames a second, which is brilliant. But apart from that, it's basically the same. You've got the same Automix features, the same video DJing, the same 4 decks, 2 decks, all that, it's all in there. The iOS version of Algoriddim DJ 2 is also available on the iPhone. It works much the same as the iPad version. We do lose a couple of features, like the single deck preparation area and the 2 deck view. However, just simply rotating the screen landscape and extending your waveform gives you this view back. It's worth noting that the Apple Watch integration is really sweet. You can control your decks, apply effects, even control your crossfades to perform a mix directly from the watch itself. It's a little gimmicky, but you never know. If you're away at the bar or something like that and you need to quickly make a change to the song that's playing, you can do it directly from the watch. Looking quickly now at the Android version of Algoriddim DJ 2. Now, this is the most basic of all the platforms that Algoriddim have developed for. We do still have full Spotify integration, and we can also record and play from our internal music as well. We're limited though to just the 2 classic deck view. There's no 2 deck view, there's no 4 deck view, there's no single deck preparation mode. We do have Automix, be it in the most basic of forms. You can't really change too much in here, unfortunately. And we do have sample pads, EQs, effects, loops and hotkeys, so all the performance features are still there. It's just not as pretty to look at. I'm using a Galaxy S9 here, and as you can see, it doesn't actually fit the screen very well at all. It's badly developed, to be fair, is that. I'd like to see that done a bit better. That said, it is the cheapest of the bunch. At just £3 from the Google Play Store, it's a bit of a bargain. You can do the majority of what you need to do on here. It only supports one external controller, so don't be expecting to plug in USB Type-C and run it like we have on the iPad with, you know, 50 plus controllers. You can't do that. It's limited to, I think it's a reloop controller, one of the basic ones. The only real option is to invest in one of these splitter cables again and DJ that way with this. At £3, you know, it's worth keeping the app on your phone. It's nice fun to play around with if you're bored, and if you've got a headphone jack on your phone like I have on this S9 Galaxy, it could really save your skin if you should have a problem with your main DJ setup at a gig. You know, could you plug that in, might get you through a sticky situation. Moving on to the Windows version of Algoriddim DJ 2. Now this retails at the same price, $45, as the Mac OS version. We've still got Spotify integration, the performance features, the packs of samples and whatnot. However, what we do not have is video DJing. It's not enabled, unfortunately. We don't have it in the Windows version. What we do have is a interface that's built around the Microsoft Surface lineup of devices. Unfortunately, we don't have one of them here today, but we are told and sure that, you know, it's built around the Surface device. It works with the Surface dial, if you've ever seen one of them. It also works with the multi-touch gestures that are built into that Surface lineup, which it's nice. We would have liked to have seen the video DJing in here. At the same price, it really should be in here. It should be almost an equivalent experience of the Apple devices. But on Android and on Windows, it's just not as nice to look at. It's not as smooth. Things don't work quite as well in the Windows and Android version as they do in the Apple iOS and Mac OS versions, which is a shame really, because especially with the Windows one, it's the same price, you'd expect the same functionality. And there we have it, our review of Algoriddim DJ. A very powerful piece of equipment, especially on the iOS and Mac variants. You could happily replace your Serato Tractor record box with this and DJ happily with it. It is brilliant. The Windows is good, but you are lacking the video DJ. It's not as powerful, and Android unfortunately has been left way behind. That really needs an update, because flagship Samsung, Google Pixels, Nexus devices, they're not that behind the iOS variants in terms of power, so that really could do with an update. But in the Android world, you've got to cater for a lot of devices, and that's probably why that's been left behind, unfortunately. As always, like, share and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on all these devices. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.